Okay, here, I'll come give you the mark. Set, wrestle. Professional arm wrestling, Pastor still won. Goliath still won. I'm sorry. You still fell. Okay, everyone back to your seat. Everyone back to your seat. You just made Papa proud. Now you stay there, Goliath. That was a hard one, right? That was a hard one. Okay. Okay. We'll go right into things. Okay. In his defense, he did arm wrestle left-handed. Okay, listen. Is Parker left-handed?
Yes.
Okay, so see, you're left-handed, y'all wrestle left-handed, okay. But you still lost. So everyone's gone. So Jasmine's job was to pick the strongest looking, the best competitor. Okay, this is the point right here. This is the point. King Saul was a foot taller than everyone else. If you're sending someone to kill a giant, don't you think you're going to pick the tallest guy? Don't you think you're going to pick the biggest guy? Don't you think that you're going to pick the guy that you think has the best chance, has the best opportunity, has the best ability to take on the giant? That was a fair chance. I mean, he even came from the same line, same strength. He put up a good fight, but he still lost ultimately. Saul was scared because he knew he couldn't beat it. It didn't matter how big he was. It didn't matter the army he had. Don't you think you're going to pick the guy who has the most resource? Saul, as king, had all the armor. He had the biggest spear. He had the biggest muscles, cannons. He was ready to go. But he couldn't take on Goliath. This is the point I want to make. God says, Marvin, come here. God says, Marvin, I'm calling you. His name is Marvin, everyone. His mama got it wrong, okay? And I'm going to ask Marvin. Are you embarrassed? God says, Marvin, it is your job to kill Goliath.
Yeah, this is more like it.
Goliath did now.
What am I, dog? You sick of this boy?
Look, Pastor knows his word. Goliath begins to taunt. Goliath begins to say, you send me a dog? You send me a boy to do a man's job? He said, I'm going to kill you and let the birds and wild animals eat your flesh. You're going to insult the fish. He begins to curse him by the name of his gods, is what the word says. It's so funny. David was chosen, and he goes up to King Saul, the biggest, baddest, one of the most armor, and Saul takes off his armor. He gives him his armor. He fills him down. Y'all just stay there for a minute because we'll get to it. He gives him his armor, and David, this is what the word says. He says he took a couple steps in it, but it didn't feel right. Let me tell you something. God didn't call you to be somebody else in your life. God didn't call you to be TJ. God didn't call you to be Scott. God didn't call you to be Kenny. He called you to be Angelina. He called you to be Lila. He called you to be Kamari. And God has a specific talent for you and you. So when we get this idea, I've got to put on somebody else's armor to do the work. I've got to be like TJ. I've got to sing like Fergie and Jesus put together or God can't use me. When we begin to say that we need somebody else's identity, we've lost entire faith in what God can do through us.
Amen.
So don't tell me that you can't, because God tells you you can. God's given you specific talents and abilities. God's given you David, he puts on this armor. He says, man, I can't do this. I got to do me.
Come on.
Maybe that's 2001 for somebody. This isn't me. This isn't me. This isn't me. You know the problem that we have in youth culture today, Javen? The problem that we have, Javen, is that we try to be somebody else.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Yes.
If we can just look the part, if we can just look more like so-and-so, if we can just play ball more like so-and-so, if we could just be more talented like so, if the girls just like me like so-and-so, if the boys just like me like so-and-so, if I was more like them, then maybe I'd be able to do what God wants me to do. No. No.
Amen.
God takes you. God takes me in my weakest form to show His might and His power. What's the word say? Not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit of the Lord. We need to weaponize. That's what I'm preaching about tonight. We need to weaponize youth culture today. Because David decided he can't do it the way that everyone else would have done it. Let me tell you, God's going to tell you to do things that might be different than somebody else. But that's because He wants you to reach people that other people who do different things couldn't reach.
Right.
You know, Pastor, you know why God's put such a band ministry burden on your heart? You know why He's put such a young person ministry on your heart? Because there's other people that aren't doing those things that can't reach those people because they're in different armor.
Amen.
But God's called you to do you the way that He wants you to be. Take your ability, take your Come on, I know teenagers. And we put on a filter and we walk through our day thinking we're happy. But when we're not around anybody, or when we mess up, when we fail, we feel disappointed, or like we've disappointed someone, we go from sad, happy to sad. Even Troy, the coolest cat in the building, you're gonna sit there and tell me that you've never struggled with self-image or being perfect or disappointment? You ever been sad, Troy? That the coolest cat in the room is going to be sad. Like, well, almost. You're second compared to me, sorry. I'm wearing the Hawaiian shirt here, not you. P.S. My wife said, did I marry a frat boy?
Forgot about me for there.
He doesn't count. This is 25 and under. Anyways, this is a point. Wouldn't y'all agree Troy is a cool cat?
Amen.
The cat's, yeah. And this guy struggles with stuff too. He struggles with self-image. You know, I can't pick who the most beautiful girl is because you're all so beautiful, honestly.
Amen.
I can't choose it because you're all perfect. But you know what? I know all you girls are like, if my hair was, maybe. Did you say Jaden's the prettiest girl? Jaden, you're so handsome. And your mama would agree. Listen, I know we all compare ourselves to other people. Adults do it, right?
Yep.
If I only made enough money like them, if I only had the resource like them, if I only dressed like them. But listen, God has given you a special calling and a special ability.
Come on.
And sometimes God calls you to kill the giant in your life. Anybody ever seen Facing the Giants? The old Christian movie?
Yep.
Favorite movie ever. Best movie hands down ever. I love it. Great football movie and Jesus. What's better? Anyways, that's the job. A small little team takes on the biggest, baddest team in the state. And they win because they say, we're going to do life how God wants us to do life. So this is what happens, Marvin. You get called to take on Goliath. Go ahead, strap up, son. Go ahead, you strap up right there.
I must crush.
You come to the field, and you know what? Here, step back so you can see kids. Off the stage, 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 off the stage.
Yep.
Touch the microphones.
Can you mute 3?
Okay, are we listening? Are we listening? The word says that David picked up 5 smooth stones and he took his shepherd's slingshot. He took the resources and ability that he had. And this is what happened. He goes to Goliath. He says, You uncircumcised Philistine. You dirty Philistines, what he's telling. How dare you talk about my God that way? You think he's talking about someone's mama. He tells him, how dare you defy my God that way? You come with me with sword and spear. You come with me with your might. You come with me with your power. But I come to you in the name of the Lord. And when we do that, God comes on the scene. And we take our resource and put it with God's resource. And you know nobody can take on God's resource. And we see the giants in our life defeated. Because you know what, Marvin? Every time you go to battle with the Lord on your side, you will win. Okay, take a seat, take a seat, take a seat. Can I be transparent with you guys? Y'all are going to a valley of war tomorrow at school. You are. You're going to walk the halls. There's going to be an oppression. Listen, I'm about to get really, really real. You're going to pass by people that are dealing with thoughts of suicide. You're going to pass by people that are dealing with addictions to pornography and sex. You're going to pass through people that are struggling with drugs. You're going to pass through people that are struggling with alcohol. You're going to pass through people that struggle with self-image. You're going to pass through people that struggle with depression and anxiety. You're going to pass through all these people, all these giants battling your nation, your youth nation, your people. Because you know, if we stop loving people, we've stopped loving God. And so you're going to pass through all these people, and the world is crying out for a David to stand without fear and say, I'm going to take on the big guy. I'm going to take on the enemy. This armor, it doesn't fit me. I might not look the part. I might not act the part. I might not be the biggest and baddest. I might not be the smartest. But you know what? I've got something better. I've got the Spirit of the Lord on my side. Because you know what? All you up here last night that got baptized in the Spirit and were shaken to your core by the Spirit, and you allow the Spirit to refresh you with a breath of revival, that same Spirit walks with you daily. Yes. That same Spirit comes with you. That same Spirit, it stays within you. And when you go against the big guy, when you go against the battles of your own life, you're going to lose if you go with your own power, with your own might. But when we go in the name of the Lord, when we go by the Spirit of the Lord, that's when things begin to happen. What I call it last night, and suddenly. And suddenly prison walls begin to break. And suddenly earth began to quake. And suddenly there was a sound of mighty rushing wind. And suddenly things began to happen in our lives. How amazing would it be if everyone in your life that you knew got saved and served God with their whole heart? I told my wife's testimony last night. Shauna, she was raised, but I didn't finish this part. She served God by herself for so long. Now her mom's married to a wonderful man. They both teach Sunday school in church. Her whole entire family got in church, got saved, all because one girl said, I'm going to take on the giant. Amen. I'm going to destroy the giants in my life, and I'm going to take on the giant that's scaring everybody else. Because you know, it's the same things you battle with, the person next to you battles with.
Amen. That's right.
The same things you struggle with. You know what the enemy tries to do, and I feel this in my spirit, the enemy tries to isolate us, to think that we're the only ones with a problem. Right. You're the only one with a bad temper. You're the only one with an addiction. You're the only one with self-image problems. You're the only one with this. You're the only one with that. But the truth is, we're all broken people living in a broken world. Amen. That needs a complete Jesus. Amen. I promise, 20 minutes and less. We have the greatest weapon available, and that's the Spirit of a living God. The enemy may come, and like last night we preached on, the enemy may come, he might say, you and what army? But we're going to be a people of God that says an army of the living God. Amen. An army that no matter what weapon forms against us, it's not going to prosper. An army that if God be for us, who can be against us? An army that never loses when God's on our side. An army that stays faithful. An army that moves forward no matter what giant stands around. This is the call tonight. And I want to be happy and I want to be upbeat, but I also want to be serious, because unless you respond, the woman will be lost in the school system, in your homes. Listen, I come from a home. I've told you, my parents didn't go to church. I was the kid that got grounded from going to church, because that was the only enjoyment I really had in life, because I loved the way that I felt in the presence of God. My parents would say, you can't go there, you've been too bad. Man, how counterproductive is that? I get it. I get it being a young person in an adult world where nobody takes you seriously and nobody believes in you. But can I tell you, TJ Guadalupe DeWitt believes in you more than anyone else. I'm sure your pastor says that. I'm sure all your youth leaders say that, because we believe in you, that you can do things exceedingly and abundantly in the name of the Lord. We believe in you. Why do you think that we don't take up offerings to young people? We know you don't work and pay taxes. But you know, this church puts in a resource to you. They spend money on you. And I'm not trying to make you feel guilty or anything. I don't spend money. That's what they got it for. But the truth is, they invest all this because they see so much greater in you than what they see in others.
Come on.
That's right.
There's a reason why on a Sunday night we've got this church almost packed full of young people. There's a reason for it. Because you've answered the call, and now I'm telling you it's time to take up the weapon. That weapon's not a slingshot and a stone. The weapon is the name of the Lord.
Amen.
That's the answer. That's the answer. I'm excited for you to go to school tomorrow.
Amen.
I'm so excited for you to go to school tomorrow. Because, listen. Get excited to go to school tomorrow, because God's going to give you opportunity to share what you have. How cool would it be if you had to start tongue-talking down the hallway and seeing revival take place? What if, I could teach y'all that move where you just hop on one foot a couple steps and then, y'all could do that down the hallway, I'm sure. Maybe? No? Okay. Y'all get my point, though. Look forward to tomorrow. Because God's going to give you opportunity to take out giants in your life. And I'm not talking about the math teacher fools. Stickers. You come with me with sword and spirit. Young people, I'm going to give you a reality check. You have an enemy that wants to destroy you.
Amen. That's right.
You really do. And I guess it's not the English teacher, since the math teacher apparently is cool. It's not mom and dad. It's not pastor. It's not the police. It's not figures of authority. You've got an enemy who wants to destroy you. He seeks to steal. He seeks to kill. He seeks to destroy. You know how I remember those three in order? Because he wants to steal your soul, kill your body, and destroy it in hell.
Yes.
That's what the enemy wants to do. And he battles you daily. Every day. Who's going to lie to me and say they don't battle the enemy every day? Every day he's trying to find ways to manipulate your walk so that you can take what you've experienced and throw it out the window and serve the enemy's purpose. But we've got a weapon to fight against it.
Yes.
I don't think she's here tonight, but there was a girl out there with, and if she is, I'm sorry. But I'm walking by, and I was sharing this with some brothers earlier. I was walking by the altar last night. And I'm walking, and I stop because the Lord's speaking to me. I turn back. And there's this girl. Apparently she's between the age of 12 and 18. And I began to pray with her, and she was like kind of crying, And I said, God's called you to the prophetic. You know what that means? Prophecy. To be able to tell the future, and that's not like witchcraft stuff, that's like Jesus stuff. He's called you the prophet. And this is what I told her. This is what the Lord's saying to me. And we're going to experience some of this tonight. Angelina, I told you I got a word for you. We're going to experience God speaking to us tonight. He says, she sees things in other people, and the enemy wants to make her think she's crazy and over-emotional. Let me tell you, young people, you're not over-emotional. That's the Spirit trying to quicken you.
Amen.
Trying to encourage you, trying to show you things. And I said, you work in the prophetic. That's like a superpower. Superpower. Y'all's gonna think I'm crazy, maybe. Okay, that's cool. And I've probably shared this before, but Troy's never heard me preach except last night, so I'm gonna tell you again. I'm gonna tell the story. Just for you and Floyd, actually, y'all special. And what's your name? Eli, you never heard me either. And there's so many people that haven't heard me. That's so cool. I get to tell the same old stories. It's new. Greatest preacher dream ever. I'm holding revival in another church. And I was raised Baptist. We know that, right? And now I'm Pentecostal, if you haven't figured that out. The spirit stuff was weird to me. Probably like how a lot of you are probably like, that guy's weird.
Amen.
Yes, and amen. And I'm like, we had a guy come to our home church where Sean and I go to church when we're on the road. And he's prophesying over people. And I'm like, this is like a year ago, like not long ago. I'm like, I don't believe in this stuff. He's creeping somebody's Facebook, or he's doing something to figure stuff out. So I'm preaching revival at another church in the same town as our home church in Poto. And we drive by and we're out of service. And it was like a 2 or 3 hour service. And our home church was still in service with this guy. And so I'm like, let's stop in and check this out. Let's scope it out. Let's see what's working here. And so we stop and we slip in the back. And he's just getting to a part where he's calling people out and he's prophesying over their lives. Like telling things that nobody else knows. And then saying, this is what's going to happen, thus saith the Lord. Just encouraging them and empowering them. And we slip in the back, me and my wife, and we sit down. And he's walking back and forth. And his eyes were closed. He's like the gentleman that just walked in the back. I'm like, that's Jedi mind freaky, dude. And so I'm like just not listening to him because I said, somebody else obviously walked in the back. He's like, no, you in the suit coat. Because I don't always wear Hawaiian shirts. This was a joke the first night. I can't stop myself now. I don't know why. He says, you in the suit jacket, you and your wife come up here. The Lord's wanting to speak to you. He calls me and my wife up. And he tells us things that nobody should know. That are private. He tells us, like, reads our mail. And says, this is what's going on. This is what the Lord's saying happened. And this is what the Lord's saying you need to do for it to get better. And I'm like, we weren't even supposed to be there that night. So it's not like somebody could have nobody knew to tell him. Personal things about our histories, about our marriage. Personal things that the Lord's speaking to us and saying, this is what's going to happen now. And he's just telling us incredible. I'm just crying like a baby. Some of y'all were like, I don't cry in church. Well, get over it. Because the Lord sometimes makes you cry. I don't like crying like a baby, JV, because this is what I needed to hear. And I'm just weeping and weeping and weeping. And this is what I say, Brother Wendell, when I go home. If you got it, I want it.
That's it.
I want that superpower. And that might just be TJ's ignorant way of expressing it. But if it's in your wheelhouse, I want to have it.
Amen.
I want the ability. I want to do that. The very next night, I'm preaching revival, don't forget. And this is what happens. There's a young lady leading worship. And she honestly looked probably 20 to 22. She looked young. And this is what the Lord says. He shows me, and I'm about to get really Jedi on y'all and teach you some prophetic. And I'm like, not every butterfly that floats is the Lord speaking. I'm just going to be honest with you. Sometimes it's just butterflies. But the Lord speaks today, believe it or not. And the Lord takes me and he shows me this vision. And I'm standing here, like, what's your name again? I'm standing by Logan because we have geography together. Actually, I'm sitting. And I'm just meditating on the Lord. And I close my eyes. And this is what the Lord shows me. This girl is standing on a busy sidewalk. Like, y'all know the movies where people walk by in fast motion, but yours like in slow motion? Y'all know what I'm talking about? She's on a busy sidewalk and people are walking by like crazy. And she's standing there and she's crying. And she looks up to him and she says, why can't I have what they have? And the Lord begins to tell me things about what she's going through. The stress and depression, the problems that she's got. I'm not going to share all her personal details, but I'm like, and this is what God says. She's sad because she doesn't have a husband to help her with her disability child. I have no idea who this woman is. You need to tell her that I've still got the perfect man for her. She just needs to stay faithful to the perfect man, Jesus. what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I've never done this before. I'm nervous because I'm like, this is going to be weird. This is going to be straight up weird. And so I'm like, sis, I don't know your name, but can you come here because I've got a word from the Lord for you. And she comes up and asks her, I'm like, this is my first question. How old are you? She was beautiful, talented. I'm like, if she's not married, someone's about to get lucky. Beautiful, talented, man. And she says, I'm 35. I'm like, she's got to be married. She has got to be. But I stepped out in faith and I said, are you married? She just kind of looked down. She's like, no. And I explained everything that I just saw to her. And I said, you look up to heaven, you say, why can't I have what they have? And I'm telling you something, she just began to weep. Just began to weep. Just began to weep. And she said, I literally just said that about to leave the church when I pulled it. Literally just said it about to leave the church. And she just been crying. And I told her everything. I said, this is what God shows me. He's going to restore you. He's going to help you. And I didn't know anything about it. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have Instagram. I don't even watch the news. I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't even have Wi-Fi. I'm so, like, redneck, I guess. I'm not connected to the world. I'm connected to the Word. That's all I want. That's all I need. I have no clue who this chick is. And I'm able to express to her what I'm feeling and seeing because the Lord wants to. Listen, that's me putting a stone in the slingshot and shooting at the giant.
Amen.
That's me using a weapon that God's given me and taking them out. And time again, God's allowed me to, just like that girl, God's called you to be used in the prophetic. She started shaking. She got so worked up, she started shaking, saying, absolutely, that's what's going on in my life. And I'm sure as others have prayed with you, and I hope as I've prayed with you, I've said something that you're like, I don't know how he knows that, but that resonates with my spirit. The Lord's speaking to me. And that's what you can do too. You don't have to have a microphone. You don't have to have ability or talent. You don't have to have a church. You don't have to have all that. All you've got to have is the weapon. Thus saith the Lord.
Amen.
Did it just get too weird? Jackson's like, yeah.